What is up, everyone? My name is Kyle. I'm with Danny. This is Edited Truth. I am back from Comic-Con. I am sunburnt. I am so sunburnt. I need aloe vera all over my body.
A bath of calamine lotion?
A bath of calamine lotion.
Like that episode of South Park?
Oh, yeah, that would be
More calamine, man.
More calamine. But we got some Comic-Con stuff to talk about. We got some good, the bad, the ugly. We got some news. But, of course, we're going to start it off with a little bit of cringe. Danny, you ready for that cringe?
I'm never ready for that cringe, but I mean, I'll try. I don't think anyone's ever ready for it. That's why it's cringe. It happens. You're like, oh.
Let's watch this guy. He's trying to copy a TikTok fad. Let's see how well it goes for this guy. You ready?
All right.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Cool. Let's see if this guy can replicate that. Here we go.
Oh, wow.
Right
He used his guitar string to launch a cigarette into his mouth, and he wasn't cool.
Deep throat.
He just nearly died.
Not cool at all. Not cringe. Just
it made me want to gag a little bit because the way he was like, it was in there, and I'm like, that's a full cigarette just in the back of your throat now. That's a big bit of a cringe.
No, bad. All right. You've been to festivals, right? You know, you've had a good time.
The Ren Fair, yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been at this level at a festival, Danny?
Okay. Oh shit!
Wait.
Lobster hands. So it's a music festival, and that dude's got lobster hands, and he's just clacking them. He's literally got actual, like, just costume quality level.
Right there at the monitors. Like, he is blowing out. He's not realizing how much he's blowing out his shit.
Not listening to the music. He's more just feeling the sound at that point and the vibrations as he clips his lobster hands. Maybe he was on some heavy stuff and he thought he was a lobster. Like, maybe his spirit animal, he's, like, well accustomed with it. And he thought, okay, let's kind of bridge the gap. But I've never fucking seen that. I've been at a lot of music festivals and seen some crazy stuff, but not a dude with lobster hands. Especially how drony that guy was. That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. Girls are always at the gym, but some people, they have different intentions when they go to the gym.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
Yes. Where do I meet these girls?
They're using gym equipment to train for sexual positions or work. Maybe this could be work related. Okay, now this is getting ridiculous. All right. At first, I was like, you know what? This might not be fake. I could totally believe that. Like, some of these people are like, I want to get real good at giving some crazy blowjobs or some other stuff for my quote unquote work. But this part at the end really was the icing on the cake that broke it all.
Yeah.
These people are definitely having a great time, though. Kudos to them.
They're having fun.
They're having fun.
All right. Last one.
Oh, man.
This guy's mad. He's pissed off.
Oh, no.
He's not having it. And
No,
he's here to tell you about it. You ready for this?
Right, let's see what's wrong.
All right, here we go. Oh, hold on. Hold on. We could do this. Maybe we not.
I want a goddamn apology right the fuck now. No, and you're the thing. I don't want an apology for these outfits. I personally want an apology because I made these shoes 5 years ago.
Oh, no.
Okay?
Yeah, ripped off.
And I was called a fashion disaster. Everyone just laughed at my garish shoes. But
garish shoes.
Barbie wears them, and suddenly it's great. I've spent the last 5 fucking years thinking that I was a fashion pariah, but no, I've been a prophet this whole time.
Right.
Not
Preach.
just a prophet. I have been Barbie. I'm the Barbie girl, and you're all living in my world.
That's good. That's good. I like his enthusiasm. I like his dedication. That's not too cringy. Well, you know what's cringy about it? so what's the deal with this Team Fortress on the other side of the screen? So I'm torn because like that's up. And so I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, okay, so they're showing this on TikTok, and to get around their like regulations, or not TikTok, on Twitch, to get around the regulations where it has to be gaming, the dude just has a fucking default screen of like the login screen to Team Fortress, the like main menu, and he just runs it in the background while he just plays his TikTok videos on top of it to get over like some sort of rules. And I'm trying to process that when this guy delivers his perfect speech. That was great. That was great, but I'm like, fuck, this duality is like nonsense. I want to know what's the deal.
What's happening on this side?
Yeah.
I want to know. TikTok's weird.
Yeah, it's all weird. It's the weird algorithms and the rules and like the weird ways to get around things.
Right.
You ever hear about all that weird stuff with like YouTube and like as long as if you're using it for like education, you can get away with a lot of nudity and things like that.
Yeah.
So people do like weird raunchy like breastfeeding videos. I'm like, oh my god. Where have we gone? We come here.
Oh no!
It's oh man, it's a great time. The internet's a fun tool.
Yeah. It's yeah. There's also like no, I'm not even gonna get into a weird YouTube spiral. Yeah. Let's get into some news, shall we, Danny?
Yeah. What's new in the world?
What's new in the world, indeed. News story number 1: Overwatch is coming to Steam.
Okay, so this is good news for someone like me who likes one utility.
Right. You just want one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is also a good sign that their numbers are dwindling, and they're dwindling fast.
Oh yeah, they dropped the ball in that game.
Yeah.
I don't even like Overwatch. Like I'm more of that Gundam game is the same thing, and I had fun with that. But Overwatch itself, it seems like when they shifted to 2, they kind of did a lot of people dirty.
Yeah, they did.
Because they dropped off that player event like mode that was supposed to be popular. So
right.
But if this
PvE,
means more Blizzard things are coming to Steam, I'm gonna be fucking happy as hell.
Yeah.
If I can uninstall Battle.net.
Steam. Yeah, you don't need Battle.net anymore. That'd
I
be
wouldn't
great.
even have Battle.net, but Austin keeps getting me these Blizzard games, and I can't say no. So
You can.
no, I can't. They're free. I'm like, all right.
It's a 2-letter word. It's great.
I can't do it. I get free games. I'm like, it's the only way.
No.
You know how many Origin games I
Stop
have?
it.
I hate that shit.
Stop it. Give it to
I don't know if you play.
Give it to a poor inner city kid that has like a phone.
I'm gonna be mean to them and be like, here, have some Origin game.
Yes.
What am I, a fucking super villain?
What do I play this on?
What am I
don't know.
Like a monster? What do I play this? Give him Epic game, and he's just got a phone, and he's just like, I don't know what to do. I can install this on my phone. Epic apparently
What am I
doesn't roll
supposed
with
to do
phones
with this?
now.
Yeah.
Remember when that was popping off? That was great.
Yeah.
That's still funny. You can't play it.
Oh my god.
Nope.
Oh man. So we'll see. We'll see how Overwatch does.
It's exciting.
When it goes to Steam. I think it's August 10th. August 10th. And as we mentioned, or as you mentioned, the Gundam Evolution game, that's leaving us
That's
November.
True.
So
1 year, right? That was a year.
Man, am I gonna have to go back to Team Fortress?
No, we still have the other Gundam game we tool around in, and Baldur's Gate's coming out, so we got all those things. But there's plenty of shit. That new Armored Core game's coming out.
The new Armored Core game. Yeah,
that'll be really
that
fun. That's too many. This year's crazy. We're fine.
We're
We'll be fine. If we lose that's still weird though, because it had like a year, right?
Yeah.
Like it came out in November, and then a year later in November, it's gone. And we had the hardest time we spent all that time trying to get all these stupid network tests.
So much time.
We gave them everything they needed to know about the game, and it wasn't enough, and they still couldn't maintain it.
Couldn't maintain it, these bastards.
Do you think the other game will follow suit? The Battle Operation 2?
Because that's running. That's like
still playing hard on the PS5, right?
4, 5.
Yeah, all those.
That's running solid and has been.
Okay. So that's promise to that. At least we can put our time in that and not feel hoisted. But I'm down to still give it a few more plays before it goes out, just for nostalgia. I might just hate it instantly and be like, what did I even do this? Why am I so self-destructive?
Barbados still kills in 2 hits.
These have always been broken. It's so weird. None of them. The game. They never even polished it, and they're just like, it's been long enough. We're putting it out.
Bye.
Yeah. Now goodbye. Yeah, thank goodness we never spent any money on that game.
Yeah. Sad bastards.
I guess we killed it, Kyle. It was you and me specifically.
Is it us? Okay.
Specifically where the straw
maybe just,
broke you deserve it, Namco. What you did to me over the years.
You could also just, charge $50 for a game,
and then buy the resources to finish the development and put it out finalized, and then you can rake in extra money off top of the microtransactions. But finish the game,
Finish it,
and then make money off of your user base.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing more to say.
No, there's what could we say?
Exactly what. Yeah.
What could we say?
That's for later. Remember this zombie boy?
He likes turtles. The kid with the zombie turtle.
Now he's a show for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated film that's coming out.
Look at him.
Look at him.
Are you kidding me?
Look at him show.
Are you kidding? Are you?
Look at him show. Here we go.
Friend, the zombie Jonathan, looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What'd you think of the movie?
I like turtles.
All right.
Yeah, that's exactly
He walks
what
away.
Like.
Oh.
Wow. So cool. Good for him.
Well,
Making
he
a little
really
cash
he caught
on
his
the
lightning in a
side.
bottle again. I guess. There's always a Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah.
So often.
Yeah, the new one. When is this coming out? The new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They're pushing it hard at Comic-Con.
And there's a show too, right? Am I wrong about that?
is it
Still
a-
going on? Like there's a show and then there's this movie.
Yes.
Because the show already happens.
Mutant Mayhem.
That sounds like a video game.
August 2nd.
Yeah,
Seth
it's like a
Rogen,
Super
Evan
Nintendo game you play with your
Goldberg.
relatives.
But speaking of Ninja Turtles, that brings us to the next one, which is made by Paramount. We got the CEO, Brian Robbins, speaking out saying that why would we put essentially millions of dollars into original content when we could just mine IP? I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't say that exactly, but he kind of said that exactly.
I mean, that's been prevalent already in like how most of these studios run their IPs. You could see like new stuff is rare, and even when it's new, it's usually wildly different than the formula.
But it's fascinating because it's like spurred, I guess, like people on Twitter discussing, is he saying that like they're shills and they're just going to mine IP? Or is he saying, no, we're going to put actual time and energy into original content if we do? We're not just going to put it out there and hope for the best. So here we go. Here's the quote. We're not going to release an expensive original animated movie and just pray people will come. Right, so is that interpreted as we're just going to mine out IP, or is that saying no, we're going to actually try if we're going to do this?
Comes across to me as he's saying it's a fool's errand, and he's not going to, and they're not going to waste their money on it.
Not going to waste the money.
That's
on
what,
it.
and that's what I've seen as like par for the course with a lot of these companies.
It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, because let's be real, like when it comes to polishing stuff and like putting like, oh, if we're going to do it, we're going to put our full weight and make sure it's good. It's like, no, then these people want to write these movies with like ChatGPT and like call it a day.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit about like polish.
They don't give a fuck at all.
We got our best writers on this. It's like, who? And it's no.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. We're going to see less animated films. I mean, Japan's going to be the only one that makes animated things come a few years.
Yeah. Or at least Korea or a lot of those.
Not us, though.
Yeah, no.
No.
I think there's a Netflix kind of still does stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a little bit here, but
there's a
it's
little
all outsourced
sprinkle.
technically, though.
Yeah,
So
that is all outsourced,
Yeah.
right? Right. It's just distributed.
it's like all the
by
Australian studios that would
America.
release anime when we were younger, but they were like kid shows, like quality stuff. That
Yes.
stuff is it's like it's
That is
Australia
some
releases it, but their
weird
animators
stuff.
are all Japanese or Korean. Like, it doesn't matter. It's all
Right.
coming from those people. That's where the
Alright.
talent is.
Let's move on. We're going to talk about this more in our other podcast, Podcast of X, which is coming back. But Jean Grey is officially solidified. Does she love Scott? Does she love Wolverine?
Piss love triangle.
Well, it's out. We get it in the new Hellfire Gala, which we will talk about in more detail. But yes, she loves them both.
Oh,
It's official.
she can't choose.
She can't. It's.
I can't
it's-
quit either of you.
Yeah, she wants them both. It's the greatest polyamorous relationship in
The
pop culture.
trifecta, dude. No, it's a quadrilateral or whatever you call it, because the Phoenix Force is all there too. It's wild.
Is that like?
Yeah.
That's more like a split personality. More, would you say? Does it?
No, it's an
physical
entity.
manifestation?
It's a cosmic entity. They're in a four-way with a cosmic
But
entity.
can you penetrate the Phoenix Force?
The Phoenix Force penetrates you.
The Phoenix Force penetrates you. Oh,
It penetrates all
Okay.
through all dimensions of
Okay.
time.
No. Oh, yeah.
Technically, they're
yeah.
attached to all
You're
the
right.
versions.
What am I thinking? Like, I'm not in
It's-
control when the Phoenix Force.
Yeah, it just-
Silly me.
It just shows how much of this all is a nightmare.
Oh, but yes.
Oh, poor Scott.
Oh, yeah. This is pretty cathartic, though. After Wolverine finds out and he goes to town on some orcas. We'll talk about it more later.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, we'll have that. We're bringing it back.
Yeah,
We're
we'll
dusting
bring it
off the old
back.
cast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, DreamWorks is making a fucking
No.
all-star
No.
card game. Are you excited?
No.
Who are you gonna play, Danny? Who
damn
are you gonna play? Are you gonna play Shrek? You gonna play Donkey?
Can you be like the little mouse
You can play
from
Puss in Boots.
Mouse Hunt?
You can play Hiccup from Look at That and How to Train Your Dragon.
Hate it.
You can play Kung Fu Panda. Come on.
What's gonna
I
be
don't even know-
drive?
I
Like
don't
I'm
even know this
dragon or
one.
something?
I
Imagine.
don't even know that one.
Yeah, that's not something.
Oh my God, you can be
The
boss, baby. Come on.
I Megamind.
Megamind. Okay,
That's a funny.
Megamind.
That's
I'll
a
dig
funny
it.
movie. I like that
Some
movie.
Madagascar characters and trolls. Okay.
Well,
All right. Are you excited? Are you
that's like the
excited,
card equivalent
Danny?
of Space Jam, or not Space Jam 2, but the what was the fighting game called? Multiverses? No, I don't think
what
that's
was
it.
that? Yeah, Multiverses, right?
Multiverse.
You're talking
Okay.
about the Warner Brothers one,
Yeah,
right?
the Warner
with
Brothers, Smash
Shaggy,
Brothers, and Batman,
and
Superman.
It had like
LeBron James was a character, and they had to remove him because he didn't work right, and so they'd bring him back later. And I'm like, I've never even seen that with a game. You release it, and you have to take one of the
Gotta take
characters
it
out of it, and
away.
it's his character of all characters.
wow.
I just think that this is the cart version of that game, and they both are terrible ideas and should feel bad.
I wonder what this is coming out on. I imagine cross-platform.
Oh, of course, it's gonna be on everything. It's consoles. It's gonna be on Switch. It's gonna be on
Let's see.
probably Steam, probably the Xbox like Game Pass.
I've been
I
down
mean-
for like a good cartoon racing, wacky racers type racing game.
All right, but let me kick this back
Recently.
to you.
That
Don't
isn't
you
Mario Kart, I should say.
don't you feel that the well of like off the beaten path kart racers is kind of full, and that you can go back and pull from it using either MAME or already existing
Sure,
ideas that exist on
sure.
Steam? Like I feel like a new kart racing franchise is the last thing gaming needs right now. I just
At
say.
least there's.
I'd rather play Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo than this. Like, actually that's a fun game, but like Mario Kart 64 or any of the Crash Bandicoot Racing, I'd go back and play those over this. Even like
Diddy
the
Kong
modern
Racing
stuff, Diddy
is
Kong.
my
Oh yeah,
favorite.
Diddy Kong Racing was good too.
Yeah, I dug that one.
That one was that's even better than that one was probably one of the best.
Yeah.
That one was probably one of the best.
Yeah,
I would
agree.
even put that above Mario Kart in some senses.
Yes, at least
be
like
honest.
during that era. I
Well,
would
and the
put
way
it-
the battle royale worked and shit.
Oh yeah,
And the
Battle
three
Royale
different,
was
you're like, you can fly,
beautiful.
you got a cart, and then you got a
Yeah.
hovercraft and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. I might check it out.
This one is a Team Fortress 2 kart racer. Let's do that.
Oh, now that would be cool.
I
That
mean,
would be cool and wacky.
We need to bring
It'd be-
back up good battle royale, like Twisted Metal. That's what we need.
a
Put that
Twisted Metal cart. Speaking of
like a
that,
battle
that's
ro-
coming out soon.
that TV show, but I mean, I want a game. I didn't want
Yeah.
another TV show.
We don't need another TV. Why is there no game to like come out with the TV show?
Yeah, I mean,
What is happening?
they make the weirdest
with-
marketing synergy options or
marketing?
choices, and then this is like a no-brainer, a slam dunk, if you will. And it's like, nah, why not make a new one? I mean, well, they will also have to pay for a lot of. No, they could just make it standalone. It doesn't even have to be based off the show. It could be just here's a new Twisted Metal, and also here's a Twisted Metal TV show. They're separate, but they're also in the same property.
Same
so enjoy.
property, yeah.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
they synergize. People
I
are like, hell
mean,
yeah, I want to play this.
Fuck yeah, but nope, we don't get that.
Yeah.
At Comic-Con, I did get ice cream from Sweet Tooth's ice cream truck.
Was it good?
It was delicious.
Right on.
Hell yeah.
All
It
right,
was
just
awesome.
regular vanilla cone.
Oh
solid,
my
just
god, what was it?
Oh, something special.
So
something
it
unique.
was it
Oh,
was
here we go.
from Salt and Straw. Have you heard of them?
No.
They're fancy from Portland, I think, and Seattle, but they came down to
Oh.
LA recently. So there's a place down here.
Okay, I think I
Um,
might know about
I
these
think
people
it
now
was-
that when
what
you're
was
describing
the-
it.
What was the flavor though? It was like like a cherry pie or something.
Oh
like
my
that.
goodness! Now
Yeah,
see,
it was-
that's the Comic-Con news you need to be coming with, like in the beginning,
Hell
Kyle.
yeah.
Like
Sorry.
you've been.
My bad.
It's all right. Lead with that next time. Shit, son. That sounds fucking fantastic. That's a cool kind of little.
Right?
And then was this like you had to? I assume you had to pay for it. It wasn't like a weird
No,
swag
it was
thing.
free.
Oh shit! It was. See, now it's
Hell
even
yeah.
awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Line must have been absurd because it was probably warm that day.
I
so-
was able to go when the line was super tiny. It was
Oh
awesome.
well, that hell yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I'm jealous for you, buddy. I'm glad you
Right?
get to
It
get
was-
into
it
that,
was
and you
good.
didn't have to wait too long too. That's cool. That looks
It was
great.
really good. I enjoyed it.
The best part of Comic-Con, right there.
Ice cream.
Well, that's dope ass ice cream. That's not just any ice cream. It's
true.
specialty.
True.
It's special.
You're not wrong.
Mhm.
You are not wrong. All right. You ready to get into the good, the bad, and the ugly?
Shit,
Okay.
tumbleweed.
So let's let me look at my list real quick.
Crack that bad boy open. I got a few extras on each this week.
Alright. Nice. Me too, actually. I got a couple extras. I'm gonna start off. I'll start off with good.
All right, let's do it.
We just watched it. I'm gonna
Okay.
say it, Futurama.
Oh shit!
The comeback of Futurama, the new episode, amazing.
I was hoping you'd talk about it.
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
Was not expecting it to be so good. It hit the ground running. It was self-reflexive of the fact that it was a streaming show,
Mhm.
and it made fun of the fact that it was rebooted again. And I
Mhm.
kind of like so Fry goes on a rant at the end. We'll just go straight to the end where he's just like,
Mhm.
every show should be rebooted. Or like should be canceled
Was it 2 years?
every so
I think he said like 2 years. It was like
or
every 2 years,
so-
cancel
so-and-so
every show and
episodes.
then start over.
And then start over. And that's a great idea. If you cancel the show, if it's good enough, it'll come back, right?
Yeah,
Futurama has come back 3 times now.
yeah.
It could come back again. Who knows?
Any show could do that.
So
If it's not
I
good
like
enough,
that
it gets filtered
concept.
out.
I kind of like that idea of like, if it's good enough, it'll come back. So, but we should cut the head off. We should let it just drag the fuck on.
It's a type of entertainment-based Darwinism, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
like a cinema Darwinism.
Kind of. But you got to cut your own head off. That's the thing. No one's
Well,
willing to cut their own head
Yeah,
off.
because people will, if they can keep milking that
Mm-hmm.
audience, they'll take it to the grave.
Yes.
Yeah, I was the biggest staunch like proponent of like this is gonna be garbage, but I'm on your side 100%.
Yes.
I think it was Futurama. They brought it back.
They brought it
and
back.
it was fine.
All the characters were on point.
They have yes.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved just the humor. You don't get that humor so much these days. You get
No.
the like diversity of like the random nerd humor because
Mhm.
a lot of the writers' room, assuming it's the same writers, are all like doctors. They all have PhDs.
Yeah.
So they make those nerdy jokes, but then you get that just dumb, fucking dry, dumb humor of Fry, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, his deadpan delivery, his stupid puns, how the world exists around that.
I to this day that one episode with the trash ball where he just like
Oh, shit,
where they do the countdown and he pushes the button and he just
misses
he
it?
misses it. He just goes,
Yeah.
Whoops.
What?
And then he pushes it. That is like the funniest thing to me.
And that is very Fry,
It's so
yeah.
simple. It's so simple. It's so dumb, and I love it. And we get more of that. We get more of stuff like that.
Yeah, that cadence, that
It's great.
timing with the just from like his and Zoidberg does the same thing still, just like
Yeah.
how he used to in a lot of those episodes. So
And it's great.
it is. There's nothing. I had no problem with it. I was kind of almost like confused. I was like, I thought this would be way
Yeah.
worse. I'm almost a little like taken aback.
Yeah, Billy West still killing it.
Oh yeah,
With all the voices.
Yeah, John
DiMaggio coming back. still
Joe
doing better.
DiMaggio coming back. Well, he was okay as or he was pretty good as what's his face that we just saw in that
What did we just
Superman.
watch?
Oh shit, Lobo. He was Lobo.
Yes.
So he worked as
okay.
that too, but he changed his voice so much it was actually kind of different. Like he
Yeah.
sounded more gruff than I had heard him before. So that was kind of fun getting to see him back in his original role in his normal voice.
Yeah,
Yeah, great, good. Like because that's a
I dig it.
That's why I didn't even bother talking about it because I was like, I think Kyle enjoyed that too, so I probably won't even bring it up.
Nice. So this is my new a temporary graphic of more of a sliding scale for the good, the bad, and the ugly. We got good over here, ugly in the middle, bad down here. I'm putting Futurama right here. I want to say it's like in the 80th.
You are completely
80th
satisfied with it.
80th percentile. I am
Okay.
completely satisfied. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I can see that. Like I said, I walked away with no gripes. I couldn't find any flaws with it, and I tried. Trust me, because I'm like, this is too good. This can't be. It's back.
Yeah.
And we talked about this earlier. There's not that humor is missing because the only other show that even came close to it was like Rick and Morty, and that's in limbo and all that nonsense. So now with Futurama, I'm like, okay, we needed this humor again. It needed to be a thing.
It needed to be something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I personally love this humor, so I'm glad to see it back.
And in contrast to The Simpsons, it's like wild how they can still stay relevant and like palpable, but The Simpsons are never, to me. I know some people counter that and don't like it, but I don't enjoy them in the way I used to.
No.
Futurama's always held me.
Always.
Yeah.
What do you think of what's the other one? Disenchantment?
That's like a Futurama light is what I like to call it, and
okay.
heavy on the light because they're like the jokes are there, but you're not invested in it in the way that you are with the Futurama characters because they're nostalgia and their history. So that you're just like, this feels like a future, like one of those episodes of the Scary Door or something like that, the Elseworld episodes that go too long. It's like a series that's in one of those worlds in the Futurama universe, but no characters. Yeah, so that's my take on it. I like it, but it's not even close to Futurama.
Cool.
Yeah. And that's how I'd take that one.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. And I guess I'll mention it here. So my next good is, I'm going to say it's a con. Oh, look at that. Our devs did cool new things.
Awesome. Yep.
I'm going to say it's a San Diego Comic-Con good. It's our Barbie meetup. Fucking blew it out of the water. I was expecting a few, maybe 10 or so. We got so many, and we got covered by Variety as well as, what was the other one?
I think it's like Vanity Fair or something.
Entertainment Weekly.
Entertainment Weekly. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Entertainment Weekly.
Hey.
Success with the Barbie meetup. Hopefully we'll have more in the future.
That's cool. That's wild. Then I got so much traction. That's
so random. I was not
expecting
I know, right?
It was just that's the cool thing about it is it was organic. It was just a fun thing for you, and you're like, oh, let's shoot some pictures, and then boom, they're moving.
Not bad.
They're getting noticed.
So yeah, we'll see what comes of the future of cosplay meetups with us.
Yeah.
What's your good, Danny?
Oh, my good. I got a couple, but I want to lead off right with Asteroid City.
The
Wes Anderson joint.
Watched it.
You should watch it. It's good. If you liked movies like Birdman,
yes,
then you'll enjoy this because it's very much of like a perspective of like Birdman's more literal about it, but this it's like not even literal, more nuanced.
Harvey Birdman,
yes.
Attorney of Law.
If you liked Harvey Birdman, Attorney of Law, one of the greatest shows on Adult Swim, then you'll love this movie. No. Birdman was more nuanced about the whole aspect of a play kind of overlapping with a movie. This Wes Anderson movie is very much like in your face about it. There's no nuance. It's just like at some points, the narrator, Bryan Cranston, will break the fourth wall and be like, oh, I'm not needed to narrate this scene, my bad. And he'll walk away. And like the people in the movie will notice the people in the play sometimes. And some of the actors who are in the play will come out of the movie and break the role and go to the writer and be like, I don't like this scene. I need you to change my dialogue. A lot of that is the narrative of the movie. That meta is the movie. That's the thematic. There is a lot of, it's a sci-fi movie, technically. It's got aliens in it a little bit. I mean, that's almost like a happenstance and not necessarily a focal point.
Sure.
The play nuance is the focal point. And I really, honestly, I enjoyed it. It was funny. It felt different compared to how they handled it in the French Dispatch, where it was like the three stories and it's being told from the perspective of the newspaper. This is just like, we're doing the play and it's playing out. And so you feel like the characters in the movie, you can kind of see them in the stage in the background in your mind.
Right.
And that's what I thought was clever about it and different compared to some of the more recent Wes Anderson stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I definitely say it's above the French Dispatch, but it's not like, Darjeeling Limited or Life Aquatica with Steve Zissou and stuff. Even Royal Tenenbaums. So I was like, I like those. Those are really good, but this is close to those. This would be like, I would put this in like a 6 or 7 area, maybe, like in the Wes Anderson like catalog.
Okay.
He's got a lot now. when you say that. Like in the Wes Anderson catalog, remember
And
we were
the
kids and there was just like the
a
two.
few, yeah.
There's like bottle rockets, and
One
everyone's
or
like, no one
two.
else saw this fucking movie with the Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about the Wilson
no
brothers?
one gave a shit.
He
at all.
literally put them both on his shoulders, and Wes Anderson just hoisted them into fame.
Right.
He just like, get the fuck into Hollywood. And they're like, all right, we're here. And then Luke Wilson had some problems. Oh, and two, but Luke, he's not looking so good. But that's just Asteroid City for my movie this week, like actual straight up movie that I enjoyed. But I want to throw another extra one on there that I'll just talk about lightly, just because of the personal importance to you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that I watched that Attack of the Doc documentary. Did you actually get to
watched
that?
it? Yeah. Okay. We might have to do a full breakdown soon, but go ahead. Talk about
This is
it.
like a
Go
light
ahead.
thing because like it's significant to us and kind of how we even do this, but
Okay.
this is less of a documentary about Attack of the Show and more Chris Gore doing a like a remembrance of his time there and what he
Okay.
appreciated about it.
Got
This
it.
documentary felt like it was much more intimate for Chris Gore and his like feelings about it than just to let people know, and I respect it for that. Because I didn't necessarily know I was going into it to be more of like something like that. I thought it was just gonna be more like, oh, here's the behind the scenes and like a VH1 kind of thing, almost more gotcha. I was hoping a little bit, but then it turned out to be a little more personal. I was like, that's fine, because I enjoyed Chris Gore. I think his reviews and the things he talks about in movies is enjoyable, and we relate to it. As a matter of fact, the DV Doomsday that they would do on Attack of the Show
Yes.
is very akin to what we kind of do here with the good and the bad and the ugly.
Definitely. Right?
He would do like the buy, the rent, and the pass.
Yes.
which kind of
I
fills
remember
this-
those
yeah, so
back
it's
in
like-
the day.
So it's like that kind of created a precedence that like even today a lot of people kind of enjoy, and those are great. I love that segment of Attack of the Show. It's one of my favorite, and I always like to hear him talk about like Comic-Con and going to the different events and things like that, and his movie experiences of like finding rare films and things in cinema. So to see this, like him go back and like kind of put it
Mhm.
together and break down what happened was kind of fun because it was his
Nice.
perspective. So
Yeah.
you feel like, oh, that's cool, Chris Gore. I see you actually were kind of a fan, but you're on the front lines. So that's like, I like that, but it was also like, it's its own thing, you know? You can't really even like quantify it as a documentary, in my opinion. I mean, you'll get
Interesting.
information, but it just feels more
It's
personal.
Yeah, because you've lived it, you experienced it.
Yeah.
So it's not more informational as if like you're trying to see it through the eyes of someone. You've seen it through those eyes. You're
Yeah.
trying to.
He's like
feel
Jane
it.
Goodall living amongst the people that attack the show instead of apes or something, you know? And you're getting
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's that kind of level of connection. So
Okay.
I say it's good. I say it's a buy.
It's a buy.
It's a buy.
That's funny.
But yeah, we'll have to break that down sometime if you want
Okay.
to dive into it, because there
Okay.
are some interesting things that they get into.
Nice.
You got to watch it. You do have to watch it.
Where would you put it on the scale?
Oh, on the scale, it's a tough call because I would say for me it would be like just a step above perfect,
Okay.
so it'd be in the light green.
Okay.
And if I was looking at it from like just what I think Chris Gore got out of it and what it did for him, I'd put it all the way there.
All the way here.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was kind of like how like Clerks 3 felt like it was more for Kevin Smith than anyone.
Got it.
So that's just
That's fair.
being objective.
What about Asteroid City?
Oh, Asteroid City, I would once again, because I was like given 6 or 7, so it'd be
Okay.
a step above perfect,
Right.
below perfect again.
Got
So
it.
almost there.
All right.
But those are both my goods for the week.
Nice. Good goods. My ugly is, that's right, it is Barbenheimer. Both Oppenheimer and Barbie are my uglies for the week. I will talk about Oppenheimer first.
Okay. You had no bad though. You no bad for the week?
We'll get there.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
so
why
this
did I do ugly first?
Yeah,
Sorry,
that's what I was wondering.
Oh, threw a wrench. in
you're
it.
just so confused about the Barbenheimer.
know,
You're like, I
I
have
know,
to get this
I
out of my
have to get
chest.
this
Let's
off
get
my
all this shit. You're gonna like knock your laptop
goddamn
out of the way. Like, we need to
Chest.
talk about the
Flip the
Barbenheimer.
table.
Please, I've been waiting to talk about the Barbenheimer all night.
Right? We need. God damn. All right. So Oppenheimer. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the film.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed that Christopher Nolan convinced a bunch of people to go watch what would essentially be like an Oscar drama that like no one would ever watch if it wasn't Christopher Nolan. I feel 100%. like he kind of did a bait and switch there, which I appreciate.
He got away with it.
So people got like a lot of those like Batman bros and Inception bros to go see these films, and they're like, "Where's the action? What's going on?"
Do you wonder if that was like a marketing ploy generated by the studio in itself, kind of like the whole Morbin time thing, and it just kind of snowballed? So it's like people are like, we're gonna double feature. Because who the fuck does that anymore?
Yeah.
Nobody double features.
Yeah,
Just hang out at home.
Double features.
Watch both.
I mean, that is a double feature.
Yeah, like at home.
Still a double feature.
But do it at home. Like, who goes to a movie theater and you're like, let's watch 4 movies in a row?
That is rough.
3 movies. People come and they were like, let's do a trilogy. Yeah.
That's half a day, right?
Special
there.
event. We'll watch the trilogy, and then when the new movie comes out, we'll watch it tonight. And I'm like, guys, you want to spend 8 hours at this movie theater?
But it was very like anxiety ridden, which is good for this film about, you know, creating the atomic bomb and like his perspective. I love that there was really no showing of the dropping of the bomb in Japan.
Oh, okay.
He just kind of hears about it. Someone tells him.
Oh,
and that's kind of it. You get his side of
they keep the mystery.
Everything from him, and it's very isolated. And I think that's the idea of the isolation between the event and the action of it, I guess, or like, you know, him, the conception and the action.
Yeah, like it's like a kind of linking chain.
Yeah. I really like the idea. So the thing in the movie is like, what did Einstein say to Oppenheimer? And
the big mystery.
And Strauss, which is played by Robert Downey Jr., which is kind of like a rival to Oppenheimer. It's kind of like, it eats him alive, he wants to know what he said. So like, you see this perspective of Strauss, who's kind of consumed with like his career and like improving, and he's so focused on like just himself and his kind of
obsession.
Like his obsession, where Oppenheimer himself is kind of taking a step back and going like, you know, we might have destroyed humanity.
Yeah, we've gone too far
like
with our power.
And that's what we find out at the end. It kind of always goes back and forth between Oppenheimer and Einstein. And what you find out, that the obsession that Strauss had over this conversation, you just find out that Oppenheimer and Einstein just talked about like, we might have killed humanity.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with Strauss at all. It had nothing to do, and it consumed him. So like,
it kind of like a little bit like The Prestige, when it was the competition between Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale's character, like wanting to know the trick consumed each other.
Yes.
So that kind of, Nolan's good at writing that, like obsession amongst his characters.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I hear that this was kind of overpowered by that score, though.
Yeah, you can't hear, like most things. That's one of the bad things about Nolan. You can't hear a lot of the dialogue because of that score.
Whoa.
And it's just all over the place. Some things, you get the famous quote, Oppenheimer quote, while he's having sex.
Yeah, he says
that's weird.
That's different. He's like climaxing. He's like, I destroyed the world. It's so weird. It's so wrong.
It's
why would he choose that? Like, what? What's the Nolan thinking when he made that choice where he's like, let's do it, that quote during sex, because that won't come across as wrong.
I don't know. Florence Pugh plays the person that Oppenheimer cheats on his wife with. You get to see her boobs. That's kind of cool. It's always cool. The cast is crazy though.
Yes.
And some of these people are huge and you see them for seconds.
Yeah.
So Robert Downey Jr. is one of the bigger ones. Florence Pugh's in it for a little bit as the she's like a communist that he cheats on his wife with, and that's the whole thing.
Spy.
Later he gets like questioned, and the whole last half of the movie is like, the whole thing is just like him losing his government clearance. It's like so like
It's
there's nothing the state. I mean, they make the stakes. They try to make the stakes like high and intense, but ultimately it's just about his
bureaucracy and
clearance.
red tape
It's
falling
bureaucracy.
down on him,
But
and you
it's
watch
good.
it to the score like
In a way that like like Fincher did what is it, The Social Network. I mean, it was just like it was just office talk, but they do make it captivating.
In The Experimenter, that movie I talked about last time, there was a lot of that where when like he brought his findings to the like a lot of the board members, they were like, well, we're going to take away your credentials and all this because, and then it just turns into it's like I'm fighting for my career to this cool soundtrack.
yeah. So all right, so who else is in this film? Emily Blunt plays Oppenheimer's actual wife. Rami Malek's in it for like a few seconds.
That's super weird.
Jack Quaid, which I mentioned before, plays Richard Feynman.
That's cool.
It was just pretty cool.
Yeah.
Matt Damon plays the kind of the military dude that kind of watches Oppenheimer. He's in it for a lot. He's actually a main character in it. Another side character, Josh Hartnett, is in this for like a second or two.
You did tell me that. Yeah, I forgot.
David Dashmalchian is in this for a second. Fucking Polka Dot Man's in this for 2 seconds.
He's getting his traction.
Gary Oldman plays Harry Truman, which is probably the worst cameo. He's just.
I could picture it with the glasses. He's like, yeah, kind of.
It's fine.
Unfortunate.
Who else? There's a lot of people in this. Casey Affleck shows up for a few seconds.
All right, this is one of the most eclectic casts I've seen in a while.
Benny Safdie, one of the Safdie brothers who directed Uncut Gems, is in this for a few seconds.
Wow.
Who else we got? Jason Clarke, who played John Connor in the one you like.
The fifth one, Genesis.
Yeah. Kenneth Branagh is in this. Alden Ehrenreich. Oh man, there's so many. Who else is in this? There's any other bigger names? I'm trying to think. I think those are all the
pretty impressive list of names.
Bigger names, but some of these people are in it for like seconds. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, like I compared it to 1917 because it's just like and then one to the next scene and look who's here and then one to the next scene. Just follow the whole movie. I feel that kind of vibe from that movie kind of moves fast.
Josh Peck is in this from Jake and Josh.
Yeah, weird. That is okay.
Who does he play? Just a random Kenneth. I don't even know. Okay, so there's so many just random people in this movie. It's ridiculous.
That is, yes. That is 100% a ridiculous cast.
Right? But it was, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for the most part. I will put it probably like, it's like bordering, I would say right in the middle of pretty good, you know?
Okay.
It's teetering. There's a lot of moments that are leaning towards ugly.
Yeah,
like
it's rough around the edges, but it's nice. It's enjoyable.
It's good. All right, so let's move on to Barbie. Barbie is, let's see. So Barbie is, the Little Rascals. Remember the movie Little Rascals?
That I have nostalgia for. I haven't seen it in a long time, but yeah.
It's kind of Little Rascals.
Really?
In many ways, yeah.
Weird.
But it's like, there's also like 2 films playing here.
Oh.
We have the like very fun, kind of whimsical, happy-go-lucky kind of
free-willed movie.
And then we have like this other movie of like the subtext of
a bit of a narrative,
a
bit of a stance and ideological
ideological stance,
a little bit of proselytizing,
some messages being thrown around,
not thinly veiled.
I wish it was one movie or the other instead of both of them.
It's trying to have its cake and eat it too, is what I've heard.
So personally, I would have, if it went the other way and I went towards like the whimsical like side where they were never. I see the problem with these movies for me is they always leave the world, right? The world that they're in is what I want to see the conflict revolve around. But the conflict always revolves around them leaving the world in some way. And that's how it develops, whether it's like Sonic or something like that. It's never isolated in its own world, and this is what happens in Barbie in many ways. And I wish it would have stayed in that world for most of the film. It's there in
I see what you mean.
most of the beginning and most of the end. And it's fun. And you know that thing that you might have done with the action figures where like you would go downstairs and then all of a sudden you would just pick it up and be like, fuck it, I'm on the first floor now. And there's a moment where she's walking and then she just floats down. That's what it reminds me of, like a little kid just doing this.
And she's in the garage and getting in her car and driving away.
But it's fun, and the messages don't like throw you. There's a lot of messages that kind of throw you. It's thrown over your head. But in terms of like the messages for little girls, it's more or less what you would get in Little Rascals, right? Where it's like a lesson about kids, kind of having conflict with each other due to love or something. In this case, due to like a different perspective, and then at the end they learn to kind of work together.
Oh, okay. So that's like it's got that simple formula.
And in this one, it's kind of different, reversed, because it's like the Barbie world. The Kens are kind of like whatever, Kens are Kens. They're nothing.
They're usually arid in how they're represented.
Barbies is the Barbie. So
because it's her world.
Ken and Barbie go to the real world. Ken's just all like, I love this. Like, he's getting all the attention. He's just like, yeah, I feel good about myself right now, and stuff like that. And then he like takes once they go back to the Barbie world, he's just all like, I'm gonna take this, and like the Kens will like will rise up against the Barbie world, and
they're unified. They're unionizing.
It was silly, but there's like moments where like
sounds silly.
Where like Ken's hiding in the back of the car and Barbie's driving, and Ken pops out, and when it freaks out Barbie, they like literally fly. It's a cartoon. It is a cartoon, and I wish they played more with that.
Yeah, in that world, in the funnier, zanier side of the movie.
Yeah. I personally would have enjoyed that. I'm sure little girls like the other messages too. But besides the one kind of message that they hit you over the head with way too much.
Yes.
Ultimately, it's not that bad. It's like if people were complaining about the I'll go back to the Little Rascals metaphor, the no girls allowed, and they're like, this is a misogynist movie because they do not let women inside this thing. And I'm all like,
these 1920s children, like latchkey kids, they're just not woke enough. They're just not woke enough.
It's fine. Again, besides that one message, which is kind of annoying, that they hit you over.
I've seen this movie done before.
But you've seen this before.
You're not going to find anything new if you come to
the Lego movie.
Barbie.
It's Little Rascals.
Yeah.
It's fish out of water.
You gotta really like the brand, I guess. If you're jonesing for like, oh man, all that plastic nostalgia from my childhood, I need to see it on the TV.
But yeah,
or on the Barbie is what I'm hearing.
Ultimately, I enjoyed it. A little annoying. Like, again, the jokes are great. Like, where the two Kens are like, I'll beat you off. No, I'll beat you off. Well, bro, you want to beat you off? Because the Kens are all like super bro. It feels like
one dimensional.
The bro down episode with the of South Park.
Oh yes,
you want bro down?
Okay.
You want bro down? They have
now?
like so there's jokes in it that's pretty good, but But then I think it's really always the real world aspect that they bring in the real world with this kind of fantasy aspects. Just keep them separate.
The duality of the absurdity where you're like trying to use this fantasy world to teach me a real life message.
Yes.
It's like, no, I don't need that. The fantasy is separate from that. Those people don't have those problems. They just don't. It's dumb to tell me that they do.
So I'm going to put it about right on the edge of good.
Where good and ugly like start with each other.
Yeah, but still on
so
the
it swings
ugly
on the
side.
good side.
It's on the ugly side.
But it's as opposed to the bad side.
It's looking over. It can actually touch a little bit of the good
I see what you're
side,
saying.
But
so it is an ugly movie, but it's
right
enjoyable
here.
to you. I get exactly what you mean.
And it's fine.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I'm sure, and little girls will love it. They'll put
I'm confused though. Like little girls play Barbie still? Is that still like a thing?
It's catering to
toys.
little girls,
confusing,
and specifically 90s
nostalgia, like mothers
90
taking their little girls
like
to
90s girls.
That makes
girls
sense.
that grew up because like in the 90s, the Barbie did have that like revolutionary like change where they had all the
it's kind
different
of
Barbies
funny
and stuff like that.
how they did it, but yeah, the
Yeah.
Simpsons episode actually touched on it really well.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like the Malibu Stacy episode a
Such a good
lot.
episode.
That
Such
is
good
a
episode.
great episode,
Oh,
and they have
Smithers
a lot
is
of
involved.
they have a lot of elements. Smithers
He's like, I want to be there for the
Yes.
collectibles. Me first. Get back. It's like knocking back all these young girls.
Oh, it's so
It's grown,
good.
man.
But yeah, so
Uh,
that Malibu Stacy episode,
Mhm.
a lot of same messages
Cool.
and themes,
Cool.
which is really cool. Yeah,
All right. So that's good to hear.
little girls will love this film. Florence Pugh's boobs. Florence Pugh's boobs. Florence Pugh's
I thought you
boobs.
said Florence
Pugh's
Pugh's boobs. Is it
It's hard to
pubes?
say. It's
Florence's boobs
like
pubes.
Florence Pugh's boobs.
How many
It's-
seashells? Seashell. Oh.
All right, let's move on to bad.
Well, I guess you want me to do my ugly to match with you since we're out of order?
No, you don't exist in this podcast anymore.
All right.
Fuck- No,
Ah!
that's okay. Okay, I completely forgot you didn't do your ugly. Do your ugly.
All right. It's Barton Fink.
Barton Fink. Okay.
Yeah, it's
okay.
the Coen Brothers,
Coen
1991. I'd never heard of it. It seems like the Coen Brothers watched like a few David Lynch movies and they're
Mhm.
like, okay, we get what he's trying. We can actually do this, so let's do it. And it felt like a David Lynch movie done right.
A little, yeah. I get what you're coming with that. Yeah.
Because everything was weird like a David Lynch movie and kind of ugly, gritty, but it was well done. It was crafted. It had that level of their writing and their like kind of camaraderie they put into making their movies together.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed this movie very much. It was really good.
Turturro is amazing. in
Oh
this.
my god, and John Goodman.
And
Both
Goodman.
their
Yeah, Goodman's
relationship. Oh my god, when he's running down
Oh,
the
yeah.
hallway and everything's on fire and he's got the axe above his head and he's screaming. John Goodman's just screaming and he's like crazy. It's so captivating, but it's a raw movie. It's gritty. There's parts with like kind of remind me of those older David Lynch movies that are
Mhm.
kind of gross and like just kind of you don't want to look at them.
Right.
And so there was a lot of that, but the story was written so well. The characters are written so well. I love these movies that try to take a twist on like film making in Hollywood, but from like the movie making perspective. Oh, I enjoyed Miller's Crossing. That's one of his.
Yeah, I was
I love
wondering
that
if
movie.
Miller's Crossing came out before Barton Fink.
Surprisingly
It does.
enough,
Okay.
yeah, I didn't know that either. Oh, that's kind of cool.
There you
But
go.
yeah, it's like it's a rough movie to look at, but it is a story that you kind of want to put it. I would do it. I would say kind of where you're putting like the Barbie movie. I'd put it maybe
Mhm.
just a little further into the good, but it's still close, like right on the line of where it crosses over. Just barely leaving. Still, there's one foot into ugly, but most of it's body and good.
Right there.
Because those some of those scenes, there were even some things that were Cronenberg like
Okay.
with the bugs, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's good ugly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on. Any more for ugly?
No, let's get into
Okay, let's get into the good, the bad.
bad. Let's do some bad.
Okay, so my number one bad. I have
Okay.
two bads.
Oh, me
Number
too.
one,
Alright.
Adam Eve.
Oh
That
shit.
is my bad for the
That's a
week,
good one.
Which is
That's a good bad one.
Fortunate
Yeah.
because I had so much high expectations coming out of the Comic-Con panel, seeing all the new news about the Adam Eve
Yes.
and the new news about Invincible coming out
Mhm.
later this year.
Because Invincible's phenomenal.
Omni-Man being in the Mortal Kombat game, I guess that's
A lot of things going on,
that's cool.
I guess.
But yeah, so like I came back from Comic-Con. I was like, let's do this. We're gonna watch this, right, Danny?
Yeah, because I
And-
was like, "Did you know this is out?" And you're like, "I was at the fucking panel," and I'm like, "Oh shit, let's just watch it." We're super hyped.
yeah, and it wasn't that great.
Oh yeah,
It was
not.
totally weird.
It felt like an AI wrote it.
it kind of felt like an AI wrote it, unfortunately.
But you still at least agree, though, the action was good.
The action scenes were
Yeah,
amazing.
the
yes.
fight scenes, all the like just high velocity, thrilling scenes of it was
Yes.
drawn phenomenally, and everything was done well.
Absolutely.
But everything else around that, with the character
Everything.
development, it was bad.
It
You're
was
right.
bad.
You're right.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yes.
And it wasn't the story. It,
It
was
does
the
suck.
it was the execution
Mhm.
because everything just felt off, right? The parents felt forced. Like,
Yes.
we get that
Yes.
they're dicks. We got that like slight sense from the show, but they really
Yeah.
dug that in this.
Mm.
They dug it home. in
Yeah,
this,
they
man.
had
I
to make
can't-
everyone a monolith. Like it couldn't be
Yeah.
just like kind of nuanced and subtle where it's like, well, I'm kind of let down. It's like, no, everyone's angry, everyone's
Mhm.
super hurt, everyone's super victim, everyone is, and no one has multiple dimensions. Everyone's one dimension and turned all the way to 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucked up the story so much because you're just like, I'm not immersed in this. This is kind of
Mm-hmm.
laughable. Oh shit, they're hitting stuff. This is actually getting good.
Right. I never read the one shot that this was based off of, but it more or less covers the story is that for the most part with some minor changes here and there.
Don't they do the 4 part where she's like doing training with like the government organization and she meets that other guy that's
Is that a part of the one shot? I thought that was a part of the original comic.
thought that was like a one shot
I
that was
remember
later.
that.
You might be right, but I always thought that was a part of her side
Mhm.
story where she like first meets him in her training. The guy who can make like the little explosions.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Rafi.
Rafi.
That's all I call. I know that actor. It's like I hear his voice and I'm like, it's Rafi. It's so weird. But yeah, that's a fair. I was let down too.
Yeah.
There was nothing that like kept me story wise. I was like, we could have
Yeah.
this could have been an episode. They could have filed it down and then gone from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Hopefully, Invincible later this year will be much better. We shall see. All right. My next bad
Okay.
comes from Comic-Con itself, and that is the D23 official Hellfire Gala. That's my roommate from the con.
Oh, cool. I got on the page.
he
That's
got
pretty
on the
dope.
page. That's awesome.
Oh shit, on the
Um,
Disney page. Yeah.
So a lot of people, I did not go, but I did survey a lot of people who went. And
Okay.
a lot of them were modest, and they said it wasn't what I was expecting.
Yeah.
With a few outright saying boldly that this was straight up a scam.
Yeah.
It was just a regular, typical after party, and they kind of look at this, a bombastic blowout.
Oh
Danny,
my.
high
Wait
fashion. Apparently, half the people were just like in like shorts and
Yeah, just casual wear
and t-shirts,
and hanging
like,
out, drinking, schmoozing,
and-
not doing anything really gala related.
Yeah.
Well, this is in contrast to the fan one, right?
Yeah.
Like where it's like night and day. Like this is like a marketing event. The other one was an actual gala that killed it.
Exactly. So, which was what I was going to bring up after this. Like, look at this, a marketing fan, an event ran by a marketing team where
This seems like for influencers almost, right?
Right?
Like it's kind of like it's got that kind of
That's the thing.
griminess to it.
They didn't even like reach out to the influencers. They went,
Oh,
like
I
all
don't
of these people
fucking know what
went,
this is.
but they didn't like even reach out to them to be like, hey, help us market this.
What
or
was this for
anything.
then?
So who exactly?
It's
who
like a
was
lazy
this
event where it's supposed to be super popular, but they like
for?
afterthought it. They're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we'll set up like a bar and like some ice chests, and you guys can stand around
Right?
in,
I
in
don't
your
know.
pleated shorts. Man,
But
that's funny.
I hear it was like it was. And so it was in Park. Park is a
Okay.
nightclub in downtown San Diego, in the
Uh-huh.
Gaslamp. And there's like this basement room in the downtown area.
Oh, see, that seems like
It
that'd be
is
cool.
hot as balls
Oh,
down there, and apparently
yes.
they had food, which was just
Gross.
all melting
Yeah.
into one like
Wafting.
thing. Ooh, yeah.
There's a smell of melt in the air.
Yeah.
Ooh, unfortunate.
But yeah, it did not seem like a
good.
fun thing.
These
Although
things are
you
getting
won't,
bad.
like I said, I didn't go, and I tried to survey people.
Okay.
I got the feeling people didn't like it, but they will not admit it because they like getting invited.
Well,
to
yeah,
They want to
yeah.
get invited
It's
to
hard-
these
you
events.
can never get
so
these
they'll
people-
never say no.
Yeah, you can never get these
Or
free
they'll
invite
never,
people to be objective because they're like,
give them
no,
negativity. But they
I gotta keep coming.
They definitely weren't. They wanted more. They had
Mhm.
higher expectations.
Yes.
One thing.
It was a letdown.
One thing that some people mentioned, dress code. Dress code
so
would
that's
solve
pointless.
a lot of this problem.
Yeah, that's pointless. If
Yeah.
you're not gonna make it like something lavish, then it's like, oh,
And
you can't even
you
call
don't
it a
even have to
gala.
cosplay.
Get
You just
out of here.
have to have maybe like a black
Okay.
cosplay
Well,
/ black tie.
I
Maybe
get gala wear. You
Yeah.
need appropriate gala wear.
that's what I'm saying. Like cosplay / black tie, right? So you
Okay,
don't-
I see what you
don't
mean.
have
That
to
makes sense.
cosplay,
That makes
but
sense.
you know something.
Yeah, because then that is a traditional gala type attire for
Exactly.
this event, so everyone feels like they're on theme. Because that's the the point? It's supposed to be more of a fun themed event. If everyone's just like making it a weird after party, then what's the point? It's like overpriced and gimmicky. No bueno.
Exactly. So that being said, let me see. Instead of supporting the marketing event, check out the Hellfire Gala Walk Winter 2023, the fan-made one, not the marketing-driven one, by fans that people
completely
actually
independent
love.
one. Yeah,
they will be at Los Angeles Comic-Con. They are looking for people to cosplay as the Hellfire Gala X-Men crew. So if you're into that, get in contact with the Hellfire Gala Walk on Instagram, and it's pretty cool. We have some videos of the last event. Go check that out. Bad, Danny.
It's bad. Okay.
Disney, you got to do better.
Yeah, some of mine are pretty bad, and one of them is actually related to Disney, but that's pretty fucking bad.
Let's hear your bad.
I'll save the worst one for last, but I'll start it off with this one was actually kind of a big letdown for me. It was the Man in the High Castle TV series.
Oh,
this is 2015 is when it released. It had 4 seasons. It's based off of the novel by Philip K. Dick, which I've read. So I was like, all right, I'm actually kind of excited. But the Philip K. Dick one actually was close enough to the time frame to nail the narrative of the people. So like he could write the people of that time in a different history accurately. What this movie or TV show ended up being was like, what if the Nazis in Japan won the war, but also for some reason all the main characters are like super modernized in their like thought process and how they deal with things and their like objective ideals. And it was jarring at points because I'm like, I almost feel like in that weird world that you'd be pushed into, you'd be grittier and more rough. Like I think like the Russian experience during the Cold War and how that affected like the people when they're occupied in the Eastern blocks. Yeah. So like to me, I'm like, these people seem to be a little more well-rounded than they should be. And so it got kind of just I got disconnected. And by the end of the first season, because that's all I watched, I was like, I'm over this.
DJ Qualls, I haven't seen this guy since like the late 90s.
Yeah, he is actually a very prominent character, and you're just like, oh my god, it's the guy from Road Trip. It's the dude from Road Trip. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh, the production quality was nice. The casting is fine. He would fit weird. He fit fine. It's just the way they wrote everyone and the way they kind of kept the thematic together. It didn't work. It lost me. So by the time I got done with the first season, I'm like, I don't want to do 3 more seasons of this. I'm kind of over it. Yeah, he's freaking Shang Tsung is like for the Japanese side, he's a very prominent character, and so his scenes were always good. So I enjoyed him, and he felt perfect, and like so a lot of the higher up Japanese characters in the show felt right, like they acted their role well. It was the lower level street like American characters that I'm like, okay, you're losing me here. Okay, so I just say don't even bother. Read the book, and you'll have a good time. I mean, but that's an easy one. Yeah, that's an easy one. Now, my other one, and I'm not even going to talk on this one too much because we talked about it before, but I finally sat down and did it, and I'm kind of fucking over this shit. Okay. I fucking watched Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'm just like, why do I even do it? It's the worst of the 3, and it's like, these movies all suck. The Marvel movies just suck. I don't know why I even thought it would be remote. The soundtrack was the worst of the 3, like the plot, how they use the characters from the series. It's like a weird... Like, remember that scene when Ripley's walking around in Alien Resurrection and she finds her clone? Sure. Yeah, that's like this third Guardians of the Galaxy was like that to the comics. Like, this was that to the comic books. It was just like, kill me. Oh, God. I'm like, yeah, burn it all down. I'm glad. And you could tell, like, he was like, James Gunn's heart's not in it. These people fired him. And so he's like, here's the biggest, like, F you to the fans who like Warlock. Here's the biggest F you to the overall Guardians of the Galaxy. They end you on this, like, whole behind the scenes spoiler cliffhanger where they're like, oh, fucking Star-Lord's going to be back. And I'm like, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck that Star-Lord's going to be back? He's always the worst of the Guardians of the Galaxy character, in my opinion. He's the least likable one. Absolutely. He was the worst part of the Infinity stuff. So I'm just like, okay, fuck this then. Like, so if you make a Guardians of the Galaxy 4, it's Peter Quill. Cool. I'm good. They brought the iconic suits in, but that's still like a dumb nod. It feels too ham-fisted, even like the Wolverine stuff I'm seeing with Deadpool. But yeah, no, fuck that movie. Fuck Marvel.
He's done.
Fuck it. I'll watch the Deadpool movie.
All the way down here?
Yes. Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to give it any. There's no redeeming quality to it. It is legitimately the worst of the 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Like, without a doubt. I don't even debate it. And 2 sucks. 2's bad. 2's bad, too. I went back to 2, and I was like, I'm done with this, too. I don't even want to keep it. And in that retrospect, one's not even that great. So one's better than the three, but one's still even on the level of movies. I went back and watched all of them, and I'm like, yeah. I don't even know if they're on the server. I think one is. I think I kept one, but
One is
two I
on the
deleted.
server,
Okay. So yeah, all that I just called it. I said 2's gone and 3's garbage. So we'll never watch either of these fucking movies again.
Yeah, I don't like. I still don't know. I think I might still say the second one is worse
Then 3,
but I have to go back.
Okay, you know what? That's not a bad argument that you could make. Like I wouldn't be like, you're way out of line with that. I'd be like, yeah, you're close.
Want to go back?
No, it was tough when I did it. I was like, felt like I was cutting my wrists and just going like, yeah, I deserve this. I'm a masochist.
Yeah, we still the first Guardians.
Yeah,
Cool.
You know what? There's enough to that soundtrack was the best. The story and their camaraderie and how it played out. Roan the Conqueror was a great villain. So, like, the first Guardian's good. That was back when the Marvel's movies kind of had more life to them and they felt less like a machine, like a ride, as Scorsese would put it.
Yeah,
those are my bad. They're both bad.
Okay.
Fucking Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
Wildly bad.
Yeah. There you go, folks. There you go. He finally seen it.
Yeah. I seen it.
All right. Let's move on to the main subject, which will be a short discussion about Comic-Con this weekend. Now, this weekend did not have, I should say last weekend, did not have any actors whatsoever due to the strikes, so they weren't there. Except for David Dastmalchian. He was hanging out with Todd McFarlane.
Is there some loophole that allows him to
I think he wasn't promoting anything. I think he was just there. He
hanging.
was a booth babe, I think, actually, technically.
Shit, David Malchian, the booth babe.
Like,
he's moving up in the world.
For Todd McFarlane.
He's
He
getting
was just
work.
hanging out.
He's getting work. For his booth babing for Todd McFarlane.
Just doing the stuff.
So just fucking Todd McFarlane's trying to pull like clout by using David Malchian. He's trying to get the splash off clout. You pull in the ladies and they'll stay for the spawn.
So one thing to note, because there was no real celebrities, Hall H was dead, which is crazy.
Yes. That's just one of the celebrity panels.
Huge hall. That being said, nothing else was really dead. Everything was alive and kicking.
Okay.
Perfectly fine.
Okay.
Yeah, everything was, everything.
Kind of good, I guess. It still feels like Comic-Con's getting into a weird place. I don't think it'll turn into E3, but I feel like it's hitting a weird growing pain issue where I don't know. Because most of the big companies pull out of Comic-Con anyways, so...
Yeah. As of late, too, like, why even bother
they have their own
spending
events.
Millions of dollars, like...
Disney has,
the
like,
prices,
3.
Man. It's getting out of hand, just price-wise, just to afford a hotel.
It was always expensive just to even go. Even, like, it was, like, a big thing for us, so I was just like, yeah, here's, like, a paycheck so I can go to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then everything there is super expensive too. And you're like, I can buy this all on the internet for cheaper. What am I doing? The limited edition stuff is good though. Like you always point out, that's the best. Like the collector's stuff. The rare thing.
Sure. So we had a lot of panels that we covered this year, which will be up on our YouTube channel hopefully soon. One of them was Gay Geeks and Where to Find Them, which had David Boomer on, which is pretty cool. He had a discussion about his run on, he does like a comic called Killer Queens, obviously.
I like that.
But he
funny,
also did a run on, oh God, I can't think of the name of it right now, and it's killing me, but he's an Eisner nominee. He's been around. Pretty good writer.
See, you should get a guy like that's right for North Star.
Right? There you go. Yeah, get like these people on like some of these characters that like just feel fake gay. just feel like marketing gay, not even real gay. It's like, oh God. Yeah.
Teeny Howard writing all these gay narrative storylines where I'm just like, you're just asexual, so what does it even fucking matter?
Oh,
you love nothing.
What you love nothing. You love nothing.
How dare you try to write love stories? You don't even have a heart.
What does this even
You
mean?
monster. How dare you?
I can't find it. I can't.
Well, that's
I-
unfortunate, but I mean, still, that looks cool. Killer Queen
yeah.
looks interesting.
So yeah, well, you could hear his
Artwork
discussion.
looks solid. I like it.
Yeah. So we'll have a discussion on that. We had the X-Men fan panel, which was fine. We didn't have Lucas Wernick was supposed to show up, but didn't show up because of obvious reasons.
Well, yeah. And you had that Asian and Asian writers and artists.
The
comics.
Asian panel was good in comics.
Yeah. You
solid
got a lot of
panel.
coverage.
David Nakayama, which we talked about before, who does a lot of the what is it called? I can't think. Some of the covers for Hellfire Gala.
So he's got the variant covers.
Variants. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. Really cool covers.
Nice.
I like it.
Well, the Hellfire variants are like some of the best variants you get all year because people really come out and like take their time, and you just look at them and you're like, these are well crafted and they're worth collecting. Like all the variants, whereas normally like some of the variants are kind of
this one. I love that. That one's solid.
Yeah,
he does a nice.
The Hellfire releases are always the best variants.
Yeah,
we'll get into that when we
will get into that. Yeah. Soon. So David Nakayama was on both the X-Men fan panel and the Asian panel.
Perfect.
Yeah, so he was
that's
there.
double dose. That's good for him.
One of my favorites, which we already have on the website, was a panel by Janice Chang, who has been a comic book letterer for 30 years, worked for Marvel. She's done Transformers, ROM. The Space Knight.
Very cool.
The fonts and typography for all of that. She's done that. Transformers she's worked on. She currently works with, Stan Lee's POW Entertainments, I believe.
Oh, I remember that. They put out a bunch of animated stuff.
As, what's his name? Asylum. I can't think of his name right now. It's blown my mind.
I can't remember.
Big Trouble in Little China. Someone.
John Carpenter?
John Carpenter's Asylum comics. So she's doing stuff with that. And it's a really cool panel. She talks about she started off as like an activist doing like fonts for like artwork and like pamphlets and shit like that.
That's really cool.
And then she moved on and done a lot of things for Marvel. So let's show you guys a quick tease of this panel real quick. Here we go.
All right.
And then on the rocks is where you put the credits. So I didn't see this again until the Black Panther movie came out. And there was an article about Billy Graham and his life. And they used it as like a sample of his work. I saw that caption shape. I said, then, Sharp Me looks at the rock. I said, oh, okay, I did it. But anyway, so what happened was I spent a year.
Oh, shit, that's amazing.
Into the Marvel bullpen. But, the current events of that time, the Vietnam War was going on. The women's liberation movement, and as an Asian American in this country, born during the Cold years, it was a difficult upbringing because of the racism. And if you just look at World War II, you can scroll. So during World War II, the Japanese people were interned because they were enemy of the country. But these were businessmen, everyday citizens who had no.
Okay. I guess we'll separate that. It's almost done. But you can see the whole panel on our YouTube channel. Go check it out. It is pretty good.
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
That's fascinating that she like actually brings up a lot of that internment history and talks.
Yeah.
And then that's like impacted. That's where her activism came from. I get that now. That makes sense.
Yeah. So
her lettering was
pretty
phenomenal.
Interesting. So check that out. And then finally, one panel that I have that we'll cover as well. I posted. It was like a Hemingway and Disney panel, which was interesting. And there was this Italian comic that was produced back in the day. That was that's cool. It was where I can't think of what is it called. It was like a retelling of a Hemingway story. with Mickey Mouse, and it was in Italian, and they're trying to get it translated because of Disney and rights, and they won't let it. They're trying to get it translated in America.
Okay.
And apparently that's happening within the next 2 years.
Oh, I'm fascinated
Pretty
to see what's going to
fascinating.
happen
Let me
with that.
See if I could. But it was pretty interesting, and it was about just like kind of Hemingway and comics, and like how they kind of got into this conversation, like, was Hemingway kind of like the first influencer, because he was very like, he put himself out there as like, because a lot of his stuff was like an image of himself, not necessarily himself. He would put himself in these situations and kind of give him kind of like, at least in his writing, like put his best foot forward, even though he was clearly, struggling.
Well, yeah. Struggling to balance that shotgun.
Yeah. Damn.
Let's be real. Let's be real. Oh, that's like my favorite lyric from that Streetlight song.
Oh yeah.
I love that one. Oh man.
Let me see if I could find Ernest Hemingway, Italian, Disney. Let me see what we got here. So yeah, I think this is the comic from it.
Oh wow!
But yeah, they're trying to get this translated, and it's a lot of like works.
Man, this is some history right here.
Based off of Hemingway, which is pretty interesting. I'm excited to see this translated.
Well, also it feels very original. So it'd be nice for them to put out something that's not like iterative. So
exactly, yeah.
This would be great.
Although,
it's like a gem.
Knowing that they're trying to put this out legally, that means someone has a fan scan has had. You think there's a fan scan out there?
Oh,
there might be a fan scan. I might have to look at that.
Maybe.
It might be too obscure.
Maybe.
If we can't even get Gundam scans properly,
there's plenty of things.
I doubt we could get this obscure
there's just stuff
Italian
like,
scan.
It was just like, it's been 10 years. You can't find this shit anymore kind of stuff. So I get you. This has been even longer, so likelihood it's a bit of a reach, but you might get lucky.
Yeah.
Looks fascinating.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I am excited. Mentioned the Hellfire Gala. Not fun. Pretty garbage.
No. Panels were good though.
Panels were great. What else? What else is there to talk about? Cosplay was okay. Nothing too much stood out. I mean, cool Barbies. I saw like a Sailor Barbie, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's pretty awesome. I think I saw a Mando Barbie as well. So
that's kind of fun.
Those are probably some of the more creative ones. But nothing too.
I always enjoyed the class.
Nothing too crazy. A lot of Hellfire Gala stuff, of course, because of the Hellfire Gala. But ultimately, nothing really stood out cosplay wise for me.
Great. That there was at least some stuff in the gala, but nothing.
Yeah.
At least people were decent, but nothing popped. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of people this year were cosplaying from like 9 to 12, and then they were out of cosplay before lunch, pretty much.
They're doing the casual cosplay.
Yeah, so people are going. We're a little lazy.
If you cosplay, you cosplay the entire convention, and then when you get home on Monday, you take the cosplay off. That's it. You sleep in that. You live in it. You shower in it.
The stank and all.
I don't even know how that works. That all sounds bad.
But ultimately, a good con.
Okay.
I don't know. It's Comic-Con. It was fine. It was fine.
It's different, but still Comic-Con.
It was fine. Everything was fine, folks.
It sounds like a Marvel series on like Disney Plus.
Right.
Everything's fine, I guess. I don't know.
Fine.
I didn't feel anything.
Nothing's good. Who knows?
It's just okay.
I just feel numb everywhere.
It's like room temperature, I guess.
Everything is just so.
Nothing
on the inside, nothing on the outside.
Well, let's see what happens next year. I'm very excited to see what change happens, what evolution happens. It has to. I mean, think about where the strike is now, and by next year, something's going to be different, right?
Are you saying we should host a panel next year, Daniel?
Oh, no, I don't. I mean, I could throw peanuts at people. That's fine, but I don't. I mean, I don't even think that Comic-Con is going to be the same thing next year. I think it's going to go through a bit of a change, but it'll be something close.
We shall see.
Yeah.
We shall see, because next year's going to suck content-wise since the strike's happening now.
Right.
Strike's happening now, so
COVID
everything next year is going to probably be not great.
Think about it. We're going to
Not
be
great.
back in like 2021.
It's COVID all over again.
Like 21, and then they're just like, there's 2 movies this year, and one of them is garbage, and the other one everyone's going to forget. So,
yeah.
you decide. I'm looking at you, Trent.
Let's see. Other news, we got, if you're a big Marvel Legends action figure fan, they're doing the X-Men animated series run of all the toys. So you can get those.
I remember those.
What else? We got Harley Quinn season 4, which is probably the only DC thing I watch now. We watched the new War World.
Oh, that Aquaman show, but that technically...
Aquaman, but...
do you know that Aquaman show was only on streaming for like 5 months, and they took it down? Back when it released in like 2022 or something.
They gotta save money. They don't want to pay those people.
But it's wild though. Like it was a new show and it just like for 5 months and they're like, nah, cut it. And it was relatively liked by everybody. It had good reviews.
Yeah.
So I just like, because I told people about it and they're like, I can't fucking find this. And I'm like, oh, everyone just start pirating again.
Oh, I will say I saw 5 golden retrievers in a spacesuit. So everyone with a golden retriever had to rock their Cosmo.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy.
So that was a big one. What else? What else at Comic-Con? Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. And then Kyle had some great ice cream. Let's remember that.
Ice cream. Never
remember
forget.
that.
Got it from Sweet Tooth himself.
Yes, he just handed it to him while his head was on fire.
The blood everywhere.
Remember the rumor that Anthony McKay was going to be Sweet Tooth?
That's funny. No.
I'm not gonna watch it. You can watch it and you tell me.
I'll let you know.
I'm not taking that bullet.
I'll take that bullet.
Good job, buddy. You're a real friend.
All right. Any other news that you have on your mind? Any thoughts? What did you learn this week, Danny?
I learned that even with the writer strike going and all the studios backing out, Comic-Con still has its own kind of momentum that it can maintain off of. It's more of a cultural event that doesn't really need them. So maybe that'll lead to a good evolution, or it might lead to them doubling down and making it more corporatized in their own way and creating their own kind of studio behind it. Like, what if a studio bought Comic-Con or something vice versa? Like, what if Comic-Con bought Blumhouse? All right. Apparently, I've learned some strange things I need to figure out. Well, let's go down that rabbit hole. There you go, buddy.
I learned that you could do a cool thing like the Hellfire Gala, and Disney will just fucking come in and make money off of it and produce a poor product.
Yes.
So fuck you, Disney.
Yes.
Or at least D23.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Yes.
Do better. Do better.
Yes. Be better, Senator. Be better.
Be better, Senator. God damn it. Let's get out of here, Danny.
Sounds good.
That'll do it for us this week. Be sure to check out freespeechgeek.com. Go check out all the panels that I talked about. They will be posting throughout the week. And fuck you, Disney. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you love this podcast, we have a lot more content over at freespeechgeek.com. We have upcoming convention coverage, news about your favorite weeb shit. We also do in-depth takes like, are some fans more religious than Christians, Jews, and Muslims? Spoiler alert, yes, some of you crazy people are. All that and more over at freespeechgeek.com. Go check it out, you psychopaths.